All
All
right.
right.
So,
Let's
hey
do it.
everybody, welcome to the Adrenaline Dubs Q&A panel. I'm your host, Diet Dr. Kelp, and filling in for Kevin, my wonderful co-host, Mr. Yoshi Tales 13, Noah.
Hey everyone, glad to help fill in.
All right, and we will let you go one at a time with our guests and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you do.
I think that's you, Hyper.
Oh, sorry. Well, I figured it made sense for the people that actually led Adrenaline Dubs to go first.
Nah, let's go from top to bottom.
Okay.
Top to bottom.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hello. I am Hyper Voice Acting, or Steve, or Steven, whichever you prefer. I'm one of the heads of Adrenaline Dubs. I'm also their what would you say? I help out with their sound passes, and I'm also the actor for Zavok, and Big for the IDW stuff, and Rotor for the Archie stuff, and Eggman for the one Boom comic that's out.
Sorry. I'm Landy. I'm one of the founders of Adrenaline Dubs. I was the lead video editor for a while, and I still do some video editing here and there around the channel. I voice Sonic. I used to voice Knuckles, but that's going to change soon. I voice Orbot, and I voice Ruff. I also voice Lord Hood in Archie.
Wow.
Okay. I didn't hear that exact thing, but I pictured Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, all right. Hi, I'm Ryan. You probably know me better as Sarah the Cat Love, but please call me Ryan. I'm gonna change my name on social media soon. I am also one of the founders of Adrenaline Dubs. I also voice Amy, Tails, Cream, and Charmy for the IDW series, and I also help out with the editing for the IDW series. And yeah.
All right. Hi. I go by TrevZed online, and I am also one of the founders for Adrenaline Dubs. My main roles on the channel are Shadow the Hedgehog, Vector the Crocodile, and Neo Metal Sonic.
Don't forget Qbot.
Oh, Qbot as well.
Hi.
Am I allowed to say who I play as?
I was just about to get into that. Noah, you are also a part of Adrenaline Dubs, so
Yeah.
your intro too.
Hey, so I am going to be voicing Kit the Fennec, coming in the IDW coming soon. And I also play as Cheese the Chow for Archie, and some additional voices, and more voices coming soon.
I'm additional voices. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Hello, I am additional voices.
Additional voices
I
is my
was
favorite
Zombot
character.
number 23.
No way!
I was the less fortunate in issue.
An issue, yes.
Issue, yeah.
I was the Zombot that Vector killed with a car.
I don't even know which Zombot I was, if I
I
was
was
any.
right.
You were a bunch.
Anyway, we're just going to go ahead and get right on into the questions. So I'm going to go ahead and call up the first person. And well, actually, you know what? I'm going to have the Adrenaline Dubs crew call up the people. You guys just one of you, we'll go in order. Hyper, you pick the first person.
All right. I'll go with the guy that has the fancy hat.
Hatmaster.
Sounds good. Hatmaster, come on up.
I'm Gorsh. I totally don't know any of you people. I'm a random incidental. Hello.
Hi, Hat.
Hello.
Hello. I was
Yeah.
drinking water. I almost choked. Hello.
Oh, but did
Don't
me
die.
saying you have a fancy hat instigate that?
Potentially. I'm good though.
Well, in that case, I'm sorry. It's not fancy.
Oh.
Oh.
Got him.
I'll leave then. Goodbye. No. So I do have a question for everyone in the room. Yes, that includes you, Kelp. I see you back there on your little stool. If there is like, okay, how do I phrase this question? Give me a sec. Okay.
Yeah, take your
If
time.
there is a character like that you wish you could voice in Sonic that you know you can't, who would you want to voice? Like a character of like a different gender, or like completely out of your vocal range, who would you want to voice the most?
Oh man,
Uh,
it's a tough one.
Well, I feel like that's weird because I feel like a lot of the characters that I would love to voice are ones I technically voice in one way or another. Like, even though I'm not their go-to guy for it for Adrenaline dubs, I have voiced Eggman in like a handful of things. I guess if I had to pick one that I get picked the least that I would like to do more often that I don't think I ever get the chance to, I wouldn't mind voicing Shadow more often. Either that or I'm guessing one of the comic characters. That I don't know which one I would pick though.
There's a lot. Trust me.
If I had a single ounce of estrogen within my body, and I would be able to play a character that I would normally never get to play, I would adore to voice Surge. That would be so
Oh
fun.
my god, yes.
Because she has quickly become a favorite of mine over the course of reading the comic.
She's a little freak.
Yes.
I can see why Keys resonated so much with her.
Yeah, you got that right.
Shadow's one that I would like to play too. Like Shadow, I've tried Shadow. I used to do a pretty good Shadow like a long time ago, way before Adrenaline, but lost it, unfortunately. And now the Shadow that I can do is not good, which is why I don't do it. It's not very good. It's never up to my personal standards, so I just refuse. Knuckles is kind of fallen out of that too. I wish I could keep doing Knuckles, but it's starting to hurt my voice, and I'm starting to kind of lose it. Just it's the less natural of the two kind of extremes that you hear on Adrenaline, Sonic and Knuckles.
That's a very fair stance, because I know you are someone who wants to meet up to your standard of quality. So
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I always thought your Knuckles. Oh, sorry.
That's all good. For female roles, that's a tough one. I guess like Blaze would be pretty fun. I really wish I could do Jet. That's one that just came to mind. I really wish I could do Jet.
Me too.
Man, actually, you know what? Real quick, before we get to Ryan, that's something that I forgot to touch upon. I guess if I had to pick like a female I could hypothetically voice, it would probably be either Blaze would be a good one. I think one that I might have a lot of fun with is probably Thunderbolt.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, that'd be
That's
a
an
good
interesting
one.
choice. Deep cut.
I guess for me, I think I would have to go with Trev. I would love to voice Surge.
Yeah, let's go.
But like I feel like I don't have that like chaotic attitude that like Kiza usually brings to the role.
I don't know. Recently, you've shown me you got some grit in you, so I feel like it's within your reach.
Maybe, yeah, if I like, practice.
It's really funny. Like before you specified Surge, like because the lengthy pause when you said I'm gonna go with Trev, I thought you were saying I want to voice Trev.
Yeah.
I want to voice Trev.
Yes, I would like to voice Trev.
All right, Ryan. Vector the Crocodile is officially yours. I can leave that on your doorstep.
For the PS4.
For male characters, I would say Silver because I adore Silver so much. That's my reason.
As a fellow Silver VA, I love voicing that boy. He is so fun.
Silver is a pure boy.
Yeah, he's really fun to voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's
No, you
go.
go. I'll go.
All right. Well, let's see. For male wise, when I started into voice acting, I used to try out for Espio and Vague, but those characters were too deep for me, so I couldn't really do them. Girl wise, I mean, I can do Cream, and
yeah, I was
sort
gonna
of,
say,
sort of.
Yeah. Sorry.
I can do Cream, and I can also do Amy Rose.
But if I would wish to try out a female role, I would agree with Landy. I would say Blaze.
Gotcha. All right. You know, it's obviously I'm known mainly for voicing Shadow and Silver and Revo, but and I love voicing those characters, don't get me wrong. If I had to pick a male character that I would absolutely love to voice, but I can't bring myself to find that right voice, it's Dr. Eggman every time. He has the potential to be so fun, especially with what Mike Pollock does with him. Like just it's Dr. Eggman would be great. But if I had a single ounce of estrogen in my body,
Glad to know that's stuck.
coined, I would probably want to do it for 2 different characters: Rouge the Bat and Styx the Badger.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
Oh, we're reaching
That's
far
2
and wide
very
No.
different
here.
extremes.
Okay.
You know,
Two
I
very
would want to
different
try out
things.
Styx.
But nonetheless, they would be absolutely amazing to do.
Oh yeah, I forget who
For
did the
sure.
voice for Styx for the boom dub, but they did a really
That
good
would be
job.
Skrilla.
Of course it was.
That makes sense.
Of course it's Skrilla.
Of course it's Skrilla. I like Skrilla, Trev, and Mongo are just like the walking like Swiss Army knives of adrenaline. I don't know how they exist as metaphysical beings.
Yeah.
But I know that's really interesting to hear your inputs, because I know through previous voice calls and experiences, y'all have mentioned voices that you've done in the past and voices that you want to do, but it's always interesting, kind of thinking about, just the what ifs.
Yeah, I really like that question. That got me to think.
Good question.
Yeah, that was a really good question, Hat.
I'm glad I got your brain cells burning.
My singular brain cell. Thank you. All right.
Same.
All right. Have a good one.
Okay, see us.
All right. That moves on to Landy. Your pick.
Let's see what we got. How about MB the sheep?
All right.
Uh-huh.
Come on up, MB.
MB.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh.
Lovely to see these people I definitely don't know. How y'all doing? I guess I'll get to my question. I had one before when I realized I've asked y'all before. So, standard question. What's been some of your favorite issues or lines, if you want to get more specific, that you guys have dubbed for any character that you've done?
Oh, actually, would you mind repeating the question again?
Oh, sure, no worries. What are some of your favorite lines, maybe, or even issues of comics? It could be Archie, IDW, anything that you've liked to voice for any of the characters that you've done, just like any specific lines or issues.
Let me see. Well, of ones that we've already done, I really had a lot of fun working on the big centric story from the 2020 annual. Let me see. Aside from that, whenever I was able to record Eggman for Sonic Boom, like particularly in the later issues, because I technically have up to issue 7, I think, recorded, but it's just a matter of like whenever we get to it, like I go completely nutso in like those later issues, and I'm hoping we get to it eventually, just so you guys can see how I almost lost my throat doing all that.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
a sign of a good performance.
Yeah, please take care of yourself, though.
Oh, I do.
Absolutely.
Was it issue 7? I think Trev and I are going to be in agreement.
Yeah,
on this
that
one.
was our
That was
infamous
a live recording.
fight.
That was a live recording, which I redid my audio clips anyway because the quality for some reason was bad. But Trev's lines are fully from the live recording we did between Sonic and Neo.
And either way, it brought out the best performance for me, having you to bounce off of, despite our infamous blooper. But it was also just really fun, because I was going to say that for one of mine as well, was issue 7, Neo's whole section. But if I were to quickly shot fire 2 other ones, it would be the entire sequence of Super Neo Metal, just getting to ham it up, go full anime villain, like the black mark on the floor line. Like, I loved that. And
So good.
despite my final one would definitely be I forget the episode number specifically, but it's where Shadow gets zombotted. And for me, as an actor playing the character, that was a personal redemption, because up to that point, I was really unsatisfied with my performance up to that point, and I knew I could do better. And I knew that was an issue that a lot of people didn't like. So I wanted to give my best performance I possibly could so that people could still have it stick out in their mind as a good performance from the character from me.
Well, yeah, people love it.
Which
Yeah,
I was
it's really
very
good.
happy about.
I think my favorite issue probably is issue 13, because that's when I really got to settle into Tails, since our original voice actor had to drop out of the project, and because I filled in for Tails at issue 10, but I was not as confident in it. But then, like, around issue 13, it's like I really got settled into the role. And then my favorite moment is when Sonic and Tails do the rhyme with each other. So I thought it was so cute. I actually
that was
looked
really cute.
I looked back on the dub, and it's like that's the most replayed part, and that just makes me so happy.
Really glad. Really glad that YouTube now has that feature. Speaking of
for
most
sure,
replayed
yeah.
things, another really generally good moment for me in what am I trying to say? I know what I'm trying to say, but I don't have the words. Okay, hold on. Let me think about
It's
this.
okay. You got it.
No worries.
Okay, so
You
another
can get
like one of my favorite moments. And I mean, there's a good amount in the Battle for Angel Island. There's a lot from like Battle for Angel Island that I really liked. Specifically, like the exchanges between like when it's Sonic, Knuckles, and Neo. Those are really fun. But I also really liked All or Nothing had some excellent ones. I actually retook a lot of my lines like a week before the video went out. Just because like some of them I was listening to them and it's like, these suck. These are not very good. So I redid a good amount of them. And also a lot of the like Sonic's like yelling when he's like turning near the end before, the big like climactic moment. A lot of those were just like improvised last minute too. I just kind of did because I didn't record anything for those, but I was looking at them and I was editing them and I was like, I think like a big like gritted teeth scream would be great for these moments.
The speaking is not like a person on the team, but just as like, or not even as like a friend either, just like as a fan of the work. I was really excited for you to get to those. Like, because I really wanted to see what you did, and you absolutely delivered.
Thank you. Yeah, the Supersonic stuff was really fun, too. Originally Sonic's lines were a lot more modest sounding and calmer, but then when I received the lines from James, that's when like it clicked in my head, like, oh, I should sound a little more confident as Sonic instead of like this sort of lower voice that I was doing originally that was more collected. So... redid those to sound a little more heroic and bounce off of Silver a lot better. I was specifically really excited to do the voice filter for that, the Warp Topaz part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I was sitting on that for a very, very long time, and it made the scene just when I plugged it into the scene as I was editing it, it just everything lined up in my exactly as I thought it would back when I was recording those lines for the first time and just plugging them into the filter.
Pretty rad. Oh,
Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm back. Okay, it's just
you're fine.
got my mom's. Oh right, I need to say my thing.
All good.
I have to say my favorite. It's got to be Cheese from Archie issue 256 when Cheese is like chow chow. Yeah. That's what I have so far.
I
Iconic.
have a personal favorite too. It's when I made noises. That was fun.
Those
I mean,
were some
who could
good
forget?
noises.
Who could forget?
Or something
Still
like
still
that.
think it's really cool that we just pulled like we just asked the community for Zombot sounds, then we fed them through the filter. It doesn't matter how bad the mic quality gets on some folks' recordings. It doesn't matter how quote unquote bad the performance is, because I truly don't think you can mess up a Zombot performance.
No,
Mhm.
it truly was open to everybody, and that was a really
All
cool way to engage with our fans.
All I
Oh, yeah.
really did for that was just like, have you ever seen The Walking Dead, like the walker growls that they do? I kind of just inspired it off that, and I was just like, all right, I'll just do like a walker sound, like a zombie, and then just send that in, and you guys put it through a filter, and it's like you can't even tell.
Yeah.
I've actually done a creature sounds before from Nerd Project I was a part of, so got it from experience.
Well, thank you for the question, MB.
Yeah, thank you all so much, and thanks again for doing this panel. This is wonderful.
Absolutely.
Y'all take care.
You too.
Bye.
Thanks for the question.
All right, Ryan, you're up.
You know what? How about Ryan Wolfie?
You know, why not?
Today's your lucky
You
day.
If you weren't gonna pick him, I was gonna pick him.
Wow.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I actually wanted to ask. You all are cool. I really like the Adrenaline Dubs. I've been watching for a while now. But I wanted to ask if you could voice act in any Sonic game, any of them, which one would you choose?
Oh, like
Does it-
pre-existing?
I was about to say, like, does it have to be one that already exists, or could it be like a hypothetical original game?
I'll leave it open-ended. Yeah,
Well,
anything.
I can answer this pretty quickly from my personal experience. Probably one of the early like Jason games, because early on like he had kind of some issues with his delivery, where just a lot of his lines and like just a lot of his cadences sounded like the same. He didn't emote all that well. It's weird because in X he was pretty good, but then like as X went on, he kind of slipped into what I'm talking about. But then like later on in Black Knight, like that's, you know, Black Knight and Secret Rings just mastered the character. So it would be interesting to like go back to one of those earlier like games that Jason featured in where he wasn't emoting all that well, and just see how I would tackle that, like just how I would tackle that script. It's not to be like, oh, I'm better than Jason, but you know, my approach to Sonic is like, I feel it's pretty unique, and the way that I handle a lot of like varied emotional lines is really important to me. So it'd be fun to kind of stress test one of those more emotional games that was written more with Jason's capacity in mind, and then it just didn't quite hit the same notes that his later performances hit. Another game I'd like to voice in is Frontiers, just to see how an intentionally more matured game Sonic could end up sounding out of me. In fact, before we did the Frontiers Convergence recordings, because we're working on that Frontiers Convergence two-parter comic, before I recorded for that, I actually tried re-recording some of the Frontiers lines and going for a more, you know, just deeper, more like just woke up type of take for Sonic's voice, just to like, you know, warm up and prepare for the comic, which the comic doesn't end up delving into that sort of emotional complexity anyway. It's more bog standard Sonic dialogue, but that's fine. But yeah, I think tackling like Frontiers material would be interesting. Roger's done a pretty good job with it so far. I'm really liking the direction they've given him.
I agree.
Yeah, I'll admit that that's partly why I asked if it had to be restricted to just like already made games versus like own ideas for games, because as far as like games that already exist, I can't really think of one that I would personally like to go back and voice myself, mostly just because I don't know what I would really do or voice to really change or improve upon that. That being said, like I said, if we weren't limited to that, one Sonic game idea I've always had in mind was an idea of like, because I know a lot of people have their own ideas for like a Sonic RPG. I've always had one where it's like more of an action-y RPG in the same vein as like, this is always my go-to example, like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, like that kind of game where it's like a bunch of Sonic characters at once, and just like how, you know, they would kind of like bounce off each other during like, you know, casual side character dialogue and whatnot. Like having dialogue like that in a game like that, I think would be really fun to voice some of the characters in.
Yeah, I don't think there's any particular game that I would like to voice in. But I do have an idea for a game. I want a Chaotix spin-off.
Yes.
In the similar vein of Sam and Max.
Yes.
Perfect.
But more like action packed.
That's a creative idea.
Because I would love to voice Charmy. I love voicing Charmy. I get to bring out my inner child.
I kind of imagine like a Chaotix detective game. It would be so cool to see like a Professor Layton / Phoenix Wright styled Chaotix detective game. It would be so cool.
I'd join on that for you.
Can you give me your best objection, Trev?
What was that? Sorry.
Can you give me your best objection? Objection! Perfect.
We're going to lose this trial before it even begins.
I guess to end this question out, or just to think in my head, I was really struggling, but personally, just going off of one of my favorites, Sonic Rush, since a lot of that game's story dialogue is not voiced already, so I think it'd be interesting to actually hear it vocalized. If not that, Sonic Battle, similar reason.
Oh, Battle would be a lot of fun to do voice work for.
Oh yeah.
Do I smell a project coming up?
we got enough got on our hands, bro.
I keep forgetting there's just games that do not have any spoken dialogue at all. It'd be great to
Sonic
get them
Rush,
together.
Sonic Battle.
Sonic
Chronicles.
I think those would be a good place to go over because there's untapped potential from the original cast there, so that's kind of where I drew my mind.
Mario and Sonic games have stories too.
True.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was I supposed to answer mine?
You're part of the Adrenaline crew. You're
here, bro.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I would want to see Tails have like a new kind of game of his own spin-off. That would be really cool, I think.
That'd be cool.
And but if in the actual games, probably Sonic Riders or Zero Gravity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have good stories too.
I'd literally just pick, if it were me, I'd just pick like Sonic Unleashed, and it's not like to voice Sonic. Believe me, it's not. It's to voice just a random background guy. I just want to voice a random background guy in Unleashed because it's my favorite game. Because of course I would.
You could be the Winto's Chow doll.
I'll be the ice cream parlor man. I don't I don't care. I'd love to do it. And then if I were to actually voice characters that I do voice, probably see what I would do for like Shadow and or Silver in 06. But that's about it. But thank you for the question.
Well, thanks for answering. That was really thank you again for having me here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah.
All right, Trev, it falls to you.
All right.
Pick a good
then.
one.
Who will I axe?
You mean ask?
Whichever.
Whichever works. I mean, honestly.
I'm biased, and I see a cool purple icon, so I'm gonna go with Cutie Cap.
Ooh,
All right. Come on up, cutie
Come
cat.
on
Join us.
up. Join us.
Oh, they're there.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello, I am here. It's a all of you.
Yeah, nice to have you. I liked the icon, so welcome.
Thank you. It's for Halloween.
Very nice.
All right. So my question is there an issue or issues that you guys hope to do in the near future?
Well, I know we are technically working on like a bunch of them in advance.
Yeah.
I think a better way to phrase this would be that you can discuss.
Oh yeah, that you can discuss. I forgot. I'm sorry.
I do have an answer.
Well, I guess like out of the ones that are already known of, I have been having a lot of fun working on bad guys so far.
What was your
yeah.
answer, Noah?
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome is going to be real fun to edit. I'm really excited for Scrapnik Island.
Me
Yeah.
too. Me too.
Yeah, Scrapnik
Oh
Island
my
was an
god,
absolute-
yes.
Scrapnik was an absolute joy to record for because I got done recording the first issue a few days ago. Very, very nice writing there. Really like how Sonic's characterized.
Absolutely.
I'm also very excited to finally get to Mega Drive. We've got all the material. It's just we got to put the pieces together, but it's low priority right now because we're just tackling so much other things.
Yeah.
The Werehog stuff and Archie, that's going to be fun. And oh god, I was going to mention something else, but I forget. Oh yeah, 2022 annual was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Annuals are always pretty fun to do.
Yes,
Very
they
much
are.
so.
Yeah, because they explore those character dynamics that don't usually get explored.
Yeah, honestly, like the 2022 one especially, like it had like a bunch of like character interactions that I never really expected them to go into, like with like Blaze meeting up with Knuckles and whatnot. It's like that's the kind of thing I really want to see more of in Sonic. I want to see them experiment more with characters you don't usually see interacting, and see how they would work off each other.
And Marine had her first debut in IGW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be cool. And I guess another thing that I can mention is we are covering. We are going to try and cover Sonic Universe, the Archie stuff. So we're going to try and cover as much of Sonic Universe as we can. Eggman's Dozen is going to be a very fun
Oh
story.
yeah,
I think you guys are going to really
fun.
like the cast that we've chosen for that.
Yeah,
Yes.
that one's definitely, of the universe arcs, Eggman's Dozen is definitely one of my favorites. And I'm also going to be looking forward to when we get to stuff like it covers more than one arc, but it's the bit where it's like the Master Emerald shattered. I have to be vague because that technically covers over more than one arc in universe.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a specific vision in terms of stuff. Like Landy mentioned, Mega Drive, very excited for that. But aside from that, literally anything, something where Shadow's written well, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Very rare,
Yeah.
but very cool.
Don't I feel you there?
You know what?
Or-
I feel bad. Oh, sorry.
Or just like any time where I get to goof off as Vector, or just any time I get to step back into
yeah.
the booth. I'm not picky.
I was going to joke
Vector's
about
coming back in issue 48.
I was gonna joke about the fact that like it feels really awkward because like the more I think about like your two biggest characters in IDW, I happen to be voicing for the Archie dub, so I feel bad that I'm taking all the good Shadow stuff from you.
Oh.
But you're already doing a great job, so no worries, dude.
Well, I
I'm
appreciate that.
I will patiently wait for my time.
Also, if you're watching the recording, you might have just heard a weird notification sound. That was my Telegram. I apologize for that.
Only thing I heard was dogs.
Yeah,
I
I
folks who watch this
also
on YouTube are gonna
apologize for
hear
my
it.
dogs.
What's
The
the
front
dog
door, the front door is open right now, so when they see something pass by, they will just bark.
Wonderful.
But I'm super excited for Scrapnik Island. I thought it was really great. Especially Tails just squeeing and like all the
Tails is
machinery
got
and
moment.
stuff. I can't wait to dub that.
That's gonna be fun to hear from you.
Other stuff that I'm looking forward to dubbing. There's a couple of roles in Archie that I probably can't say, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, same with me.
I literally I can't say anything. I don't want to confirm nor deny anything, so I'm not saying anything.
Okay, so I probably shouldn't mention that I'm going to be voicing Bowser in our newest Mario dub.
Oh no!
What?
Why did you
No!
say it?
You
Oh my
fumbled.
god.
I really can't say that I'm voicing Rock number 356, but
Oh my god, that's my favorite character.
thank you for the question, Kitty Cat.
You're welcome. Have a nice day, everyone.
You have a nice
You
day
too.
You too.
Yeah.
All right.
All
So
right.
that ends off Trevzet's. Noah, go ahead and pick one.
Let me see. Let's bring up Micah.
Mike, come on up.
Hello.
Hey,
Micah!
Micah.
I had a feeling somebody was gonna pick me.
Well, hello.
Yes.
Hello. So here's my question. Other than the fabled Battle for Angel Island incident in 2020, are there any other issues you've had with production behind the scenes? Like if anything's missing or something like that, something went wrong. What happened? What's up with that?
Well,
I wonder what.
a fun fact about issues 17 through 20. That was originally going to be a 4-parter, but we reached a point where it didn't really make much sense to have it be a 4-parter, and the wait for material was making the wait for the videos to be finished just way too long, so I decided to split it up into its different parts. So that's, kind of in the same vein. We've taken some steps to try and make sure that nothing like Battle for Angel Island happens again, because that was I think, what was it, over a year of waiting? Holy crap. It set us way back. Other than that, I can't think of anything else.
I was about to say, it might not have been as bad. It felt like it came close at times, a few times during Metal Virus Arc.
Yeah. Yeah, just a lot of it is just waiting on people to send in their voice lines and the sound pass, and then waiting on Tech to do music. I know Tech is currently busy right now doing commission work. So it might take a bit for us to get out dubs right now.
Yeah, we are a bit held up at the moment. Sonic Boom is another example of just things just problems happening. Right now, Paxton, who voices Boom Sonic for us, he's been pretty much unable to do voice work, and that has lasted for a very long time. So Boom really got hit because of that, and then eventually Gerbil just said, okay, screw it, moving on to regular Archie, and started doing that. Now we've got multiple editors working on multiple different arcs, and so the production should go faster, assuming everybody records their lines, which thankfully we don't have a big issue with right now. Sometimes we have to use placeholders, but obviously we can't just with a character like Eggman with such a specifically iconic voice, and the fact that Josh is just an excellent dude who just is usually pretty available. We can't just outright get a stand-in for mainline IDW. It would be really hard because Josh has such a distinctive Eggman voice that if that suddenly changes, then things start getting
told
weird.
right away.
For cases I guess SPO, it was easier to get away with because SPO's got SPO's voice is a little more of a trope, I guess. So it's easy. It's easier to find folks that can fill in for. Same with G-Merle. Even though what Paxton gave to SPO and G-Merle was undeniably unique, we ran into an issue, and those voices are so they're kind of a trope, or in G-Merle's case, it's a very specific process. So it's a little easier to replace those voices temporarily, and just not have it be too bothersome.
SPO's is especially funny considering the cycle of like 4 actors going
Oh
through
yeah, I
that.
remember that. That was
SPO
funny.
switched-
Including
SPO
you and me.
switched, like actors. I was the very first one, and then Trev took over. But then I realized, oh, oops, his voice is way too similar to his shadow. So then
Yeah.
when Paxton rolled around, we were like, okay, we'll have him do SPO. And then Paxton went MIA, so we got somebody else. And then after that, there was kind of a problem that arose in regards to the SPO that came in after Paxton. So we very quickly had to get Sword T, and now he's SPO.
I can't speak much on the production pipeline, since in terms of editing and giving you guys the flashy visuals you're all used to, I'm not a part of that. I do not know how to do that. One day maybe I'll learn, but for now, nah. But I will say, let's see, after Battle for Angel Island, for about 2 years, I was ahead on my lines, so everything was already done. So now that arc is finally over, the Zombot saga, I get to record lines again after like a year or two, and that's exciting for me. So
Yay.
Yeah.
it's so strange when you're like, these issues are coming out, and it's pretty much the like anime manga pipeline. We're doing a very similar thing to that, in the gaps between and adapting those original issues. So it's kind of crazy when it's just like, oh yeah, all this stuff you've done has finally come out. Now you're into the new frontier.
Does anybody else wanted to add comments about that?
I can't really.
I guess as far as like production goes, I don't know if we revealed it publicly, so I'll just say there is one series of dubs. Well, not even just a series, just my contribution to a series of dubs that I've been meaning to get off the ground for the longest time, but the only thing keeping me from really working on it is 3 things. 1, the other Adrenaline dub stuff that I'm helping out with. 2, still having to wait on 2 particular actors, mostly just because they were surprisingly hard to find actors for. And 3, I co-run an original series with my friend Jordan that's also been eating up a decent amount of my work time.
Yeah.
Let me see. Production. I think for me, well, so far I only recorded like 2 issues so far, but I'm just gonna wait for a while because I know they're still working on the other issue, so it's just gonna be for a while, but it'll be worth it, so I can record the rest of the stuff. I'll voice.
Yeah, honestly, the biggest hit to production, the 2 biggest hits to production is 1, waiting on everybody's voices so that we can actually assemble the comic proper, because using placeholders is kind of difficult. Like, you can record your own placeholders, but like, what if the ensuing lines that you get don't match? You have to like shuffle all this crap around, and it's just kind of
right.
Yeah. But it's I'm starting to get more used to using placeholders, so things are getting done faster on my ends, which is nice. And the second biggest hurdle, I guess. The second biggest hurdle is waiting on Tech, because Tech usually works fairly fast, but when he was working on both Archie and IDW at the same time, it was like you could see the like struggle. For Archie, he ended up using a few tracks that weren't originally written for Archie to fill in some gaps where he didn't have the time to compose a full theme. Totally understandable. And if he's not going to use those themes for anything, then he might as well, I get the repurposing. It's very, very, he's done it in a smart way. And then there was also a lot of stuff that he had to get finished around the time not Battle for Angel Island, All or Nothing was nearing completion. When I posted the final work in progress version that didn't have any music, it was about a week away from the release, or maybe 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks. He was not able to work on the music for that for a good while. Like, he was able to kind of make some dents in it, I guess. He was able to just finish small parts of it, but he wasn't able to complete the full picture, which is why we had to delay it a little bit. Thankfully, not by much. But yeah, it did lead to a delay, but that's all good. Man, he's a busy guy, and he just, you can't do everything at once. Now we are moving to he's just going to be doing IDW for Archie. We're looking into maybe having some tracks done by him, but we're also looking into finding other composers, and we're scoping out our own folks for it. So hopefully Archie should, when Archie resumes, it's not going to interfere with IDW as much. It never really did interfere, but the music was something that was a concern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, biggest hurdle by far, though, is just waiting on lines. Thankfully, that doesn't have to happen as often now.
Mm-hmm.
But much smoother divvying up of the work from what I've been seeing, just for the window point of view in splitting up the editing and everything. It's very smart compared to before.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did everyone answer? I think
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your question.
Yeah.
Oh, no
you,
problem. You guys have a rest of your a good night.
Yeah.
All right,
You too.
You too.
I'm going to differentiate it up here, and I'm going to pick a text question. Let me just get those loaded up.
There we go.
Okay.
Let me see. Not that one. It's not. Here we go. Oh, here's a good one. From he was here earlier, but sadly he had to go. From Ultimate, he asks, was there any memorable moments you guys had together?
I think we kind of answered that in a way. Trev and I did a live recording for issue 7.
Yep. That would be mine as well, in terms of like actively being in the same call together, just getting to, because I really wanted that episode to be special, and I knew that Landy would be down for it, and I knew that getting to bounce off in real time would really help my performance. And it was one of the first times I got to do that, and it really gave me a new perspective for live dubbing and just voice direction in general.
Yeah, I feel like it should be stated that for practically all of our videos, the recording is done in isolation. It's with very, very few exceptions, because not everybody has the time to just schedule, like, we don't, because everybody's in different time zones and everybody has different like life situations. It's not the same as like a professional like studio recording session where you can just bring in a bunch of voice actors into one session and have them just talk and record. What happens is I ask people for their lines, and then with varying amounts of time, I just receive them as audio files. They all just record in isolation. Again, though, there is the rare exception where either I have to live direct somebody, which I had to do quite a bit for RJ Pebbles when she was still voicing Tangle, because she didn't have a whole lot of acting training. So I had to, step in and just sort of help get what I needed. But because everybody else is like super experienced at acting, I typically don't have to step in regards to that for other actors. So live sessions are very rare. And sometimes in even more rare cases, you'll have something like issue 7 where me and like Trev will jump into a call and record our lines together, or two other parties might record lines together. But that's like exceedingly rare, just because everybody prefers to record in isolation because it's just easier. Like, unless you really want to bounce off of one another. Like, for issue 50 with the Surge and Sonic thing, Kiza and I didn't even, record. We probably should have, but we didn't even, like, record together, simply because we just didn't feel like it was super needed. It would have been cool, and it probably would have made the conversation feel even more natural, but, schedules didn't align. So I guess my main point is there's not a whole lot of like favorite moments together from editing the dubs because things just kind of happen at different paces and usually we're kind of separated.
I will say, if that opportunity to do some sort of live dub or like back and forth with anybody came up again, I would take it in a heartbeat because that was so fun the last time, and every time that I get to group up with all these stupid people, I love it.
You think I'm stupid?
Wait, you know what? Now that I'm remembering, I'll end this question. I'll cap this question off. I'll plant a little seed for Ryan and Trev. You remember how this all started back, like when we were just live dubbing? Yes. Like reboot Archie for fun, just in a voice call together.
Yes.
I'll leave you guys to answer the rest of that and just how that felt for yourselves, because I feel like I wouldn't be able to. I've already kind of hogged the spotlight here, so take it.
No, that was man. So, for those who don't know the origin story, I was just for the server that we all pretty much met in or really became close friends in. I randomly was reading a live reading with one of the members of the server, Becca, one of my friends, and we were going over some random comics and just like live reading them. And then Ryan and Landy joined in, and we're like, "Hey, that sounds like fun. You want like I'll join that with you." I was like, "All right, cool." And this was right on the precipice of the IDW comics getting launched after Archie's cancellation. So we were just going off Archie, and we're like, this is fun, and we're kind of good at it. We should like do something going in the future for these IDW comics. So we made the little server just as like a back pocket thing that we do. I don't know how I came up with the name Adrenaline Dubs, but it ended up sticking, and I'm glad. I didn't want to go with something super tropey, so now seeing it on like stickers and pins and logos and stuff, I'm like, well, this is cool. All right. But yeah, I'll leave that to Ryan to share your half of that.
Yeah, definitely doing the live reading of Archie was great. We had like music for it. We had we had a what? Not endless possibilities, but it's like a what's it called? When Supersonic fights Dark Gaia, that song. I think that was
Dark Gaia Phase 2.
Perfect Dark Gaia.
Yeah, I think that was and Endless Possibilities, I think.
It's a remix.
That was really fun, but another like memorable moment is just when we do the charity streams, because that's when like everyone really gets together and hang out.
Yeah.
I think what I should have said with that question, I think he meant like not just at the dubs, he meant like more so
I kind of realized that after the fact.
Yeah.
See, I could go with the dub one. That was good for me because I haven't been on any of those streams, so I couldn't really say anything.
You need to, Trev. The people want you.
No.
I've tuned into the chat on those a couple times. It's been cool to see those streams.
I have been in a lot of the charity streams. It's been so much fun. Even playing VR chat, and I did that one time. I had that kid funny laugh.
It was great.
Yeah, I heard about a tower of motobugs.
That was great too.
That was the best.
Oh, well, thank you for the question, Ultimate. We'll probably cap this off with one more question. So,
another text question, or
no? We're gonna pick a person from the audience. So let's just go with Mindscape.
Oh well, now this is an honor.
Hello.
Hello, all. You guys are actually a pretty big inspiration for me.
Aw.
I guess I can go straight to the point with my question. Is just since you all are such like big voice actors in the content creating scheme, like, do you have any tips on getting your names out there or improving as a VA?
Audition. That's
Audition, practice.
Be open to criticism.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of rejection.
No, definitely not. Use that as a platform for you to step off of.
And also don't be afraid to just make your own stuff. I mean, that's literally how I got my foot in this door.
Same.
That is the main thing that I did, was just, if you see a character and you think that character's cool, or you think that you want to try out that character, just open up Audacity or whatever and just start spitting lines out. It may not sound the way you want to immediately, but just doing it over and over, just having fun with it, that is the main thing I can recommend. And eventually, you start picking up on all the little nuances of each little performance. And eventually, you'll come to form your own take on said characters, like a lot of us here have.
One thing I'll say, I'll add on to a point I mentioned, like, don't be afraid to take criticism, because, you'll need that to help improve yourself. At the same time, though, don't take any of the criticisms like super personally, because it's like, whenever they give feedback to help you improve, that's one thing, but don't take it as like if someone's saying something along the lines of like, oh, you're bad at this and whatnot, like, don't take that kind of criticism personally, because I've seen many like aspiring voice actors, heck, I'm technically friends with some of them that fall victim to this, that let that seriously demotivate them from continuing, and that's the last thing you want to do.
I can definitely see that. Actually, Lanny, I think I asked you about some stuff before.
You might have.
But yeah, I could definitely agree on the whole criticism thing. Like, me and my team, we always try to help improve each other by listening and pointing out anything that can be improved upon.
That's a big part of it too. Having a good net of people, like, for me, having Ryan and Landy there in the beginning of my little journey, and not discouraging me, but just pushing me along and giving me new things to try and encouraging me to keep going, was great. And it felt like we were all growing alongside each other, as cheesy as that sounds. And it made it really fun, the going forward. And now I'm very happy with where I am, and I can look back on my beginning stuff and hurl, but in a positive way.
I don't even like the way my Sonic sounds in like the earliest IDW issues. You're fine, man.
Oh man, I agree with you on a spiritual level.
Bro, episode 1 starts with my prepubescent Smash announcer. We grew. Like,
started out small and became one of the best. Yeah. Now you guys are up here with all the other big VAs. It's kind of amazing to see your guys' journey.
Well, they are. I'm still not sure about me.
I'm still fully comprehending the fact that like this many people listen to us and think we're cool. I'm like, what?
Oh, like I said, you guys are the big inspiration for me and the other people I work with. Like, you guys are amazing to us.
And that's so cool. We wish the best for you, absolutely. Like, keep going, dude.
Keep on enjoying what you do.
I mean, I can say just outside of Adrenaline Dubs, because other than Zombot Voice 2 and 3, I don't have as much ties, but even just like getting connected with other people was a big factor in how I even got to the position where I am today, where like now I'm involved with Revolution and I do voice acting for them as characters, like even as Silver and Shadow. It's because I made these connections. I got to know people. I improved myself. I put the time in. And it's just, when you put all of that effort in, you will get all of that effort out. It really just, it shows like how far you can go. That's probably what I would do. Because like when I first like messaged Landy, I think like a long time ago, I was like, I have no idea if this guy's going to get back to me, because like he's got a really big like channel that he runs and things like that. I don't even know if he's gonna know who I am. And he was like, oh yeah, sounds fun. And I was like, really? And it was surprising. It's surprising how chill people can be, and how easily you can find connections with, seemingly people you've only seen. So I'd say connections is another big part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of us met just because Trev was like making this RPG fan game concept, and a bunch of like people on Twitter, I guess, caught wind of it and just kind of hopped in because it was something fun to do. A lot of voice actor people. That's pretty much just ground zero for the team that would go on to work on Adrenaline dubs.
It's so true. And
all the pieces for comic dubbing were kind of in place, especially with that live dubbing thing.
For sure. The fact that I wasn't even a voice actor back then is crazy, because I was just assembling you guys, and it wasn't even a blink in my mind, but seeing that like inspired me to like step up to the plate and try it for myself, and now it's like my main thing. So
yeah, all these pieces were falling into place just to like create a comic dub project, and all that we needed was a rock solid video editor. And well, you know, I was at the head of it, so it's like, oh, I could just take everything that I've learned from video editing and YouTube poop and just apply it for a serious thing.
It's true. It's very true. Like
you'd be very surprised at just like how crazy things can get when you just how much things can evolve when you just have a group of people who all want to like work on something together. And connection is a big part of that. You can continue, Trev, sorry.
No, it's all right. I was just gonna say, like, in some ways, Adrenaline is kind of my like what I view as like our SSR Requiem, because we at least got to use a lot of the people that were organized for that project. And while I was very young and didn't really know what I was doing back then, the talent that was accumulated there was still able to blossom into something that is concrete and is happening now a lot more realistically. And it to be one of the people starting that and getting you guys together and it's still going strong now is like, you know, I'm happy it turned into something. It's something really good.
Yeah.
Quite amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well,
thank you for the question.
I thank you all for answering. I guess the only thing I could say else is I'm excited to see what you all do in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We will not disappoint.
I'll try not to
We'll
disappoint.
try not to.
Yeah.
All right,
Guys, where's your
guys,
confidence?
well, that about wraps it up for us. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll just leave my part at that. But whenever you go, whatever last words you guys want to say, feel free.
I guess just keep I guess I'll just kind of repeat what we were saying to Minsky. Just, you know, if you want to get your foot in the door in content creation, just, you know, don't hesitate. Just start learning, you know, if you're inspired by somebody, then just, you know, start working on something. You don't always have to shoot for every, you don't always have to like try and catch every big fish, but, you know, if you're struggling to get your foot in the door, just make your own thing and see if it just gains a little bit of traction, and that can go a long way. Just, you know, just keep working. Don't give up if you're not getting to the top fast enough, because, you know, you can be kind of near the bottom and you'll still be fine. And just, you know, you kind of work your way up. Be modest.
Your end goal might not look exactly how you want it to, but if you keep persisting and you keep sticking with the real ones, then something good's gonna come out of it.
Yeah, well said.
And definitely remember that as long as you put your all to it and you're passionate about it, that's also like a major factor as well.
Absolutely. You don't want to end up with a group of kind of detached folks who don't really want to help out because, you know, they got better things to do, understandably. That's how a lot of like minor league groups, like teams started. Like maybe 2 or 3 people really, really wanted to make something, and then we would bring other people on and kind of put them in similar positions, but they just didn't want to, you know, contribute as much just because, you know, they had better things to be doing. They didn't have an investment, and that's okay. You know, just find folks who you know are going to be invested and just make something fun. You don't force ties that you can't really bind together. That's how you succeed, in my opinion. Just, you know, find folks that you gel well with and make something cool. You don't have
For
to
sure.
make. You don't have to just kind of bring on this. You don't have to make a massive enterprise. Make something that basically just makes. I guess just try and build something that people want to join. I mean, I never thought that anybody would want to join Adrenaline Dubs besides just the core team, but now we're way bigger. So,
Yeah.
you know, crazy things can happen if you just kind of persevere and play your cards right. Most importantly, though, just have fun with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to add anything on, or?
Look forward to issues 30 through 32.
Yep.
Cool. Well, we'll look forward to everything you guys have in store in the future. Thank you so much for coming on out and doing this little Q&A panel. And thank you guys for coming and tuning in. Thanks, Noah, for helping to co-host.
It was an honor. It was totally an honor.
Happy to be
was an
here.
honor to host you guys.
Yeah,
And-
thanks for inviting us.
For sure.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys later, and be sure to stay tuned for more panels that are happening later this evening. So, see you guys.
Bye,
Farewell.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.